Hello, everyone, and welcome to a game between Slayers MMA versus IMMvp. Here on Crossfire, we have MMA spawning as the red Terran player on the bottom left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, on the top right-hand side of the map, we do have the blue Terran player, IMMvp. Terran versus Terran, a rematch of the MLG Anaheim finals. We'll see how this particular game does go down. It is Terran versus Terran, but a lot of the styles have really changed. There are no more, or Blue Flame Hellions are not nearly as effective as Blue Flame Hellions, I believe, take 3 to 4 shots to kill any SCVs anyways. So we'll see what's going to be happening here. I think it is 3 shots to kill an SCV, maybe 4 without that Blue Flame research. I haven't really taken a look at the numbers. I think 4 is exactly the right number now that I'm trying to do the math in my head. Is it 4 or 3? Or, yeah, you know what? I don't know. I'm sure some of you guys will let me know. As we now see a front door supply depot is being built over here. Supply depot and also another supply depot being built here as well. And I really like how the metagame changes so often in Terran versus Terran and then in StarCraft 2 in general. For a long while, a lot of players didn't bother putting a front door supply depot, barracks supply depot, always afraid, and then just built their supply depot closer to home in order to get a stronger economy. But now, because of so many other changes and people doing a little bit more of a rush tactic, perhaps running in with units, they will be able to, or you want to be able to stop your opponents at the door. Now, taking a look so far, MMA and IMMvp pretty much doing the same exact build order already. Refinery about to be completed. We should be getting another supply depot here, and then perhaps go into a refinery or have those SCVs transferred to the refinery in order to go for a factory. Barracks do take 65 seconds to build now, so a little bit of a delay there as both players now going into an orbital command and now a supply depot being added by MVP. So a little bit change in the build order. We should perhaps be getting another supply depot here or perhaps going to delay it just a little bit as both players are perhaps looking to tech. Now, tech advantages here on a map like Crossfire, Banshees are definitely a possibility. Trying to get that cloaking research first and then get that Banshee all the way across the map in order to deal a lot of damage into the mineral line. MVP now calling in a mule needs to make up some of that economic advantage that both players do have available to them, as we now see a second refinery coming in from MMA as well. So both players sticking to a more traditional one base, perhaps 1-1-1 build as a factory now comes into play. Back over here, we have a proxy factory here, so a little bit of an interesting strategy that's not going to work out. MVP now dealing or shutting down this one particular SCV. This is not going to be good news at all. These two Marines and now this SCV going to be pushing in. The Marines are now trying to run away, knowing as this SCV going to come back over to work once more. 2 Marines versus 2 Marines. This is going to really come down to a micro battle. Who will be able to win out in a micro battle here? This is always going to be a little bit interesting as the SCV may get shot down, and it does get shot down there. So I believe MMA really miscalculated that. He's going to be behind on his factory, and now he has a lot of ground to make up. We can see that a starport is already being added. In addition, we are also getting a reactor, so that's a little bit of a strange add-on. A reactor is normally not used unless he is trying to double train Hellions and also go for perhaps a blue or a Hellion drop, as the Marines are now desperately just trying to run for their lives. Is it going to be enough? Another Marine gets taken down. Total losses. You can take a look at the resources there. And now 5 Marines against 1. MVP definitely has the clear advantage as we now see MMA trying to transition into a longer game strategy, knowing that his proxy factory is not going to do anything. It does look like it is going to be a Hellion drop in just a moment, adding the reactor there. And now you can also see that MVP is sitting on a fair amount of gas. Not quite sure what he wants to do with that. Perhaps he's going to follow it up with a tech lab onto the starport. And a tech lab onto the starport will allow him to train up all those very, very nice Ravens. There is a front door supply depot, but that supply depot does not belong to anyone. It is not a red supply depot, as MMA is red, just one of those artifacts to make sure that there is no crazy bunker or tower rushes on the map. Medevac now making its way across. It looks like it may be an elevator cover fire drop. The strategy is normally done against other Zerg players, but it may work out well against another Terran player as well. The Hellions deal a lot of damage, a lot of splash damage to Marines, as those Marines do tend to clump up just a little bit. Meanwhile, the medevac is going to be back over here. It looks like there is an orbital command which will spot it here, and now the Marines are dropping straight into that location. It looks like MVP may try to come back over with 4 Hellions, and now simply bypassing this bunker. And now as the Hellions are being dropped, this is going to be very, very difficult for MMA to stop. MMA may not have enough to stop at all, as the Hellions getting off a very easy torch, now preventing a lot of the mining. A Viking is out, and the Viking needs to be used in order to shut down and destroy that medevac. But the problem is that the Hellions and the SCVs are just taking so much damage already. It looks like the medevac may get destroyed, but it may be too little, too late, as the 4 Hellions have destroyed so many SCVs, and now a Viking going into ground mode, trying to finish off these Hellions. Yeah, the Hellions are getting surrounded, but it looks like the SCVs are going to be a lost in that engagement there, and MMA giving up this game to IMMvp very, very quickly, losing game 1 in this series. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game 1 between MMA and IMMvp. Stay tuned for game 2.